Dear friends, Halloween has etymology of All Hallows Eve. It is the evening of October 31st and also the vigil of the solemnity of All Saints. To hallow is to make holy, to make sacred, to sanctify, to venerate. So those who are hallowed are the amazing men and women who have lived, faithful life to God while they were here on earth. And of course, now they are experiencing, in the words of St. Thomas Aquinas, the beatific vision. So they are those who are hallowed. The origin of the All Hallows Eve, which we call the Halloween, could be traced back from the piety practiced by the medieval Christians, the medieval Catholics. Let us remember that the Feast of All Saints was celebrated on May 13th, but it was shifted to November 1st by Pope Gregory III because of the dedication of All Saints Chapel in St. Peter's, Rome. But in the 840s, Pope Gregory IV made it a universal solemnity to be celebrated in the whole world by all Catholics. Towards the ending of the 10th century, the Church added the commemoration of All Souls, November 2nd. Irish Celtic peasants thought about this. The Church has given a special place for the saints and also given a special place for the souls who have died, who are possibly in purgatory on their way to heaven. What about the souls who are damned? What about the souls that are condemned in hellfire? So they were afraid that maybe these souls will be angry with them, and in order to appease these condemned souls, so they made music to remind them, we have not forgotten you, even though you are in hellfire, even though you are damned, we did not forget you, so don't get angry with us. So they began to make music, they began to dance, they began to sing, they began to do all kinds of merriment in honor of the damned, the condemned souls, because they were afraid, they were thinking that these souls may get angry with them and come to revenge, or come to destroy them, or come to harm them. So while the concept of the hell, the dead, the dangerous dead, the monsters, the zombies, and all that, the vampires, those concepts came from the Irish sects. So all the costumes depicting monsters, depicting, vampires, witchcraft was added later. But all these costumes, they came from France between 14th and 15th centuries. Let us also bear in mind the effect of the Black Death, that is the plague that ravaged Europe towards the ending of the medieval period. This plague, brought a sort of consciousness about the afterlife among the people. So many people died because of this pandemic, because of this plague, and because of this, people were reminded again that there is something like death. There's something like afterlife, and there is the reality of mortality. So people became conscious again about death and what happens after death. So historically, it was the Irish that had the Halloween. They did not dress up, but the French are the ones who dressed up on All Souls Day. But because of this migration and intermarriage, the French and the Irish, came together, and that culture of, wearing costumes by the French, the culture of, Halloween came together, and that is how Halloween became, like a monster, like a satanic, like an evil celebration. But originally, it was not an evil celebration, and even till today, it's not also a demonic celebration. It is All Hallows Eve. It is the evening, it is the vigil of the solemnity of All Saints. But we can decide either to make it a demonic celebration or a saintly celebration. It is All Saints, it's not All Monsters Day. I would like to suggest to you 5 major ways which you can participate in the Halloween or All Hallows Eve or All Saints. Number 1 is to reconcile with God. Go to confession, confess your sins, and become friends again with God, because saints are the friends of God. Number 2 is to pray the Liturgy of Hours, especially in the evening of October 31st, in the evening of the Solemnity of All Saints. It is very important because as we join the Universal Church in this Liturgy of Hours, we reflect more on the lives of the saints. Number three, make sure you practice charity, show some love to the people around you, because from the origins of this celebration, the children used to move around asking for candies, asking for charity from the people. So, in order to celebrate worthily this solemnity, it is good to share whatever you have. Be generous with whatever you have. The fourth way is that if you must dress up yourself or dress up your children for the Halloween, you must look for a particular saint and dress them up in the saintly attire. Choose any saint you want, dress up your children according to that particular saint, and allow the saint to influence your child instead of using a demonic attire or a monster looking attire or a zombie kind of attire to dress up your child. It may influence your child negatively. We must celebrate the Halloween in decent attitudes and in decent or modest dressing. The fifth way of celebrating the All Hallows Eve or the Halloween is to make sure that we attend the Mass and participate actively in the holy sacrifice of the Mass. The devil has what we call spiritual medium. Medium is actually the channel through which the enemy gets into us. The devil has no power to penetrate our two major faculties, the faculty of imagination and memory, because they are the functions of the human mind, the human soul. Remember that when the Satan came to God to take permission to attack Job, God said to him, you can take everything material, mundane, temporal, empirical, everything around him, but I do not give you access to his soul. So the devil cannot enter our soul. The devil cannot enter inside our soul unless we allow him, but he can stay around it to manipulate us using the things around us. And one of those things the devil can use to manipulate us is this attire, this scary attire, this thing that many people are going to wear on November 1 or October 31st. They can influence us because the devil is very cunning. The devil is very tactical. He knows the best way to get to us. He's very smart. He's very intelligent. He knows the best way to penetrate us. And after wearing all these things, especially the young persons, you begin to have nightmares. And this is how the enemy begins to enter your life gradually until it takes a total possession of your life. So my advice to parents and to all the adults, I'm not asking you not to celebrate the Halloween. Of course, it's All Hallows Eve. But I am saying that it is better for us to dress up like saints, so that we may be influenced through the graces that come from the saints, than dressing up our children in demonic attires. They are going to influence them. From my experience, from our community, a healing community, I have seen many people who are, possessed because they were watching horror movies, because they are watching all kinds of bad movies. The devil has many ways, divergent ways of penetrating our lives. And once he enters, you need a lot of deliverance. You need a lot of exorcism to remove him. So it is better to avoid this kind of situation by dressing up your children or yourself in a saintly way. Of course, I wish you happy Halloween. I wish you happy All Hallows Eve. May we also learn from the saints how to be faithful to God and also be friends of God. God bless you.